Happy Socktober! Okay, so question I get asked quite often on the sock machine is, do you need to crank from a cone? My answer is yes. Other answers will vary, but I like having it on a cone. You need your yarn to be free-flowing off of the cone. When it's coming onto the machine, you want it coming off this cone very easily and smoothly. If you have drag, if it pulls, it's going to change the tension in your sock. So, how do I do that? Now, there are cone winders. You can find them. There are people making 3D printed ones now. There are people that are manufacturing them. You can find vintage ones. I have an attachment for my drill. So I bought mine off of Erlbacher, their website, and it is just a rubber stopper on a shaft which goes into your drill. I don't know, this probably has a term. I also buy my cones right from Erlbacher. They have a slit in them. So you can do this straight from your Swift. I do that all the time. You just don't want to go super fast. You don't want your Swift going so fast that you then it gets caught or something like that. So personally, I mean, I go slow when I'm going straight from the Swift to the drill. You can drill faster and slower, so just remember that. I asked my husband for a new drill for Christmas this year because the other drill was dying and it was heavy, so I got a new drill. So you want to get it onto your cone. Everybody's like, your cones look so nice, and I'm like, oh, are you sure about that? I don't think they look sloppy, but I do understand what people are talking about. It starts getting too bunchy up at the top, and then it kind of poofs off, and then you have a problem. So I don't usually put more than 100 grams on a cone by hand. I feel like if it's from a cone winder, you could probably do that because it is putting it on more precisely. So if I need to split my yarn, I will put it on my Swift. I'll put it into a cake, and then I'll split it into 50 grams each if I'm doing like an order that needs to be 2 separate tubes from the 100 grams. The reason you don't want to crank from a cake, people do this all the time. You see people in videos doing it, but you can get drag if you're doing it from the center. It can drag, or it could get caught or stuck, etc. I also did an experiment. I'll try to link it. I did an experiment because I have 2 different ball winders. I have the Knit Picks ball winder, and I have a different ball winder that's like more sturdy. It clamps on a table. It's all made all of wood. And some of them, when you make your ball, the yarn kind of, when it's going around, it's making this pattern, right? Some of them go way far under. So then when you have this in a bowl, it's not always free flowing. The ball might flop around, etc. One of my ball winders winds better than the other, but I still don't do that. Sometimes, my cat is playing with a cone. Sometimes, if I have just tiny scraps and they're just hand wound into a ball, I put them in a bowl and I'll crank from those. Again, though, making sure that it's not snagging or getting tension, because that will mess up when you're trying to get it into your machine. So, how do you, if it's already in a cake, I will pull from the center sometimes to put it on the cone, or I'll just let it flop around in a bucket like this. I don't do anything special with these other than find the center, and sometimes you get a little bit of a mess, but you find the end and you put that on your ball winder. You put this on the floor or wherever, and you just let it come out and put it onto your cone. Now, when you get down to not having much and it's an empty shell and the yarn is on the outside, you do want to go slower, because if you go really fast, it's going to pull real hard and it's going to pull the whole carcassy outside. I don't know what to call that. And it will be a mess. So I'll put it on the ball. I'm going to not cranking today. This isn't going to be this cat. Would you like to see my cat? This cat is a terror. Ugh, it's Luna. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this cake into the bucket in front of me, and I'm going to go from the inside of the ball here. It's gonna be a little bit messy at the end, I have a feeling, but you work it out, you figure it out. So my trick to this, so I put my yarn on, I put this on, okay? I'm going slow. You don't want to go super fast. I have gone super fast, not gonna lie. Okay, so when you're doing this, I'm gonna try to speak over the drill. You want more yarn down here, okay? You don't want to go too close to the edge on either end. You want to build up a little bit here first, and then slowly start going out. And if you need to fill in, just make, it's like you're making strokes back and forth. You know, if you were coloring an area or something like that, you're just coloring here onto your cone. So I'm building this, of course. Make sure you have your drill batteries charged. 1 second, folks. Okay, pretty sure this one is charged. It was on the charger, so. Again, building this end up, not putting too much pressure, letting it just flow onto the cone. Now, what happens is some people get too much up here, and then when they're putting yarn down in the middle again, it makes this kind of explode. You can go slower or faster, whatever is comfortable for you. Really? Well. All right, so, I mean, I got through most of that ball, but you can see the end down here might look a little more round and bulbous, but you're going to want more down here on the first 2/3 than you're going to want up here, because it'll just make that pop out and not be good. So, that is how I wind my cones. Again, you know, you get a feel for it after doing it a few times. And I've done it quite a few times. So it's just all in practice. Anytime you have a new tool, just like with the circular sock machine, it's a new tool. You don't just pick up a crochet hook when you're a knitter and just do it. It takes practice. You don't just pick up a leather cutting tool and make your first leather cut and it looks perfect. It just isn't going to happen. New tools take practice, 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 practice. That is the mantra. You just have to keep practicing. So if you do have any questions about using this, again, you can set it on a table. Drills can be heavy. Set it on a table and do it. I hold it. That's just my preference. So let me know. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. I wouldn't mind getting a cone winder, but I think these are like $20. And if you have a drill, you're ready to go. So some of the cone winders are upwards of like $100. And do I need that? Not really. I can do it just as easy like this. So, all right. Well, I hope Socktober is going well for everybody else. And I hope you're enjoying these videos. I've gotten some really good comments so far at the time of this recording. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.